streams yet. She is owned by a high school girl that goes to South Seneca. So today we're gonna probably get a lot of movement. She is a horse that just wants to be with other horses. She knows that she doesn't really need people. People are good for food and water, and she does like to go out and move with riders, but she definitely likes to make up her mind. So we might have some movement going on today, some good scratches, and we'll talk about partnership, especially. It'll be good with her because we'll talk about people partnership, and then later on we'll move to horse and person partnership, and why there's a difference, and how you need to figure out with people partnership first.
Some of the things that, Jolene and I are two different people. We're going to look for two different things in our relationships, two different things in our partners, two different things in maybe our horses as well. So when you're looking for a partner, and the reason we're having this conversation is that when you come here, you'll be partnered up with another individual to start with the grooming, to start with the horsemanship. So you guys are both learning from each other. You people are both learning from each other and learning from the horse at the same time. And we can help, you'll help each other with your information. You'll help each other learn. You'll help each other grow. You'll help each other with the experience of what the horsemanship is going to bring to you. Throughout your whole, finding a partner thing, in life, when you're in 5th grade looking for your partner, it's going to be totally different than when you're in 11th grade looking for your partner, or when you're Jolene and my age looking for your partner. Things are going to change, things are going to evolve, things are going to grow. The same way in your horsemanship. As your horsemanship grows, you'll start looking for other things in your partners. You're going to start looking for other attributes that these human beings bring in your life, or these horses bring in your life, and then all these will change. Partnerships grow. That's one of the things with when you find your partner of a human being and they grow. As you are here with your human partner learning horsemanship, you two will both grow in the little bit of time you'll be here, but there will always be growth in what you're doing. So what I personally would look for in a partner is somebody who challenges me to be a better person, and does not allow me to stay stagnant in my growth. I'm also looking for somebody who is honest. That's where I really involve myself in the horses, and I enjoy horses because horses are 100% honest. I'm looking for somebody who also has independence in their own self. I'm an independent individual. I want my partner to be independent. I have no problem with my partner leaning on me for things, but I don't like a partner who needs me for things. We had a little sign that came down, so Ashley gave a little bit of look. I'm also looking for somebody who is willing to challenge themselves, because I'm always challenging myself. I'm challenging myself every day to learn and to grow and to be better, and I want my partner to challenge themselves to know that we are never complacent with where we are. Happy with where you are in the moment, sure, but complacent where you are in your growth is something that I'm not looking for. So Jolene's turn.
The things that I look for in a partnership is someone to balance me out. I have highs and lows, and I get very one-directional in my head, and it takes me some time to kind of sit back and think about what I was actually thinking about and what was actually going on versus what I for sure thought was going on in the moment. And so I just like understanding, because I will try my best to be understanding. And so as a partnership in my adult life, I want someone or animal to know that I will always come back around. And same thing for whoever I'm partnership with, that I will try my best to understand. And if you can try your best to understand, even if we don't meet eye to eye, we can work something out, and we can do everything. Doesn't have to be agreed decision, just as long as there is respect and and trust. And so through taking time to understand, it's realizing where I might need to look at something differently, where I need to change some movements or steps that I'm doing, steps physically or mentally. And so it's just kind of finding that balance in a partnership, someone who can balance me. So meaning that they don't need to be anywhere as the same as myself, but we can work to meet in the middle.
So the next step of our conversation is going to be, how can our partner help us stay safe within our horsemanship? Jolene and I are partners here at D&K Ranch. We're both wranglers that take the responsibility and the pleasure, but a lot of responsibility in our horsemanship with the students that would come out here, or we like to call them dudes, but the people that come out to go on our guided trail rides. So there's many things that Jolene and I have worked about, perfectly in spot right now, that Jolene and I have worked through and with in each other of, as Jolene just said, like a lot of acceptance. I am nowhere close to being perfect. Jolene as a human being, we're just not perfect individuals. That's just what we are as human beings. But we both have accepted where we are in our moment, and we both are trying to learn from each other and communicate of what we need and how we can get it from each other. We're trying to be helpful towards each other, but at the same time, our goal is to be responsible for what we're doing as a profession. One of the other things that our partnership allows us to do with our horsemanship is focus. If Jolene has to take her focus off of what she's doing, I can help her with my focus of re-engaging in what we are doing. So say that she needs to respond to something individually, then I can focus on the larger picture, right? So if we were grooming this horse, and we're both being partners with this horse, and we're grooming this horse, and Jolene is focusing on one aspect, say she's grooming the shoulder or picking the hoof or whatever she's doing, then I am going to be having a few steps back to have a larger perspective on what's happening. And if she's not focused on the larger perspective, I can say, Jolene, hey, I can see that the horse's ears, the eyes, the tail, or whatever are giving this body language to you. Maybe we should allow the horse to put her foot back down because she needs time to rebalance herself. Because Jolene is being, singular in her focus about looking at the hoof and doing that and maintaining her, imminent safety. And I'm trying to look at it from the larger side of saying, well, let's refocus on the larger thing. The larger thing right now is making sure Dashley's safe, Jolene's safe, and I'm safe, and everything's safe around. That leads into the different perspectives and point of views. So my perspective, because I have an individual brain, where Jolene's perspective and her individual brain is going to be totally different. But as long as we continually communicate with the horse, with ourselves, we can have this partnership that allows us to grow and allows us to begin the aspect of leadership in the quality of that you need with horsemanship. So either you're leading the horse or the horse is leading you. And in your life, either you're taking the leadership role in your life or life is leading you. So you get to make these decisions of how you're going to do these things, whatever it is. And either you take that leadership role in your life and say, well, I'm going to do these things, I'm going to set these goals for myself, or, it's 3 months later and you're still stagnant in the same place. That's what we're doing with horsemanship. We're always trying to find how we're doing this. Is this working at the moment? If this isn't working in the moment, then we need to refigure out how we're approaching the situation, change the way we're approaching the situation to try to get change out of the horse and change out of ourselves.
So in partnership, something that can develop through the understanding and everything is different forms of communication. Now, we've talked a lot about the body language communication that horses teach us. And through our human partnership, it's we're going to pick up more on the body the nonverbal communication, but through a human partnership, it's a lot more than verbal communication. So it's thinking about how you say something to someone. So, you know, hey, you're not keeping your heels down. They told you to keep your heels down. That's one way to say it. Or if you keep your heels down, you might feel more comfortable in the saddle. So then there becomes different ways to say helpful tips to your partner and wherever you are about anything. And then through your partner, through your human partner, you can become better with the human verbal communication.
So right now, there's some horses running around, and Dashley's trying to look and find out. If you look, Jolene and I, through nonverbal communication, Dashley stepped into our space. We talked about in a previous informational part of this about the safety of your body space, or the horse, you know, this personal bubble you try to have for safety. When Dashley went to step, because of the relationship that Jolene and I have already developed, she went and took the horse's front to get a hold of Dashley to allow her to, you know, hey Dashley, we're here. You need to be with us. And I stepped into the hindquarters to create our safety again. So I mean, it's just as Jolene and I were discussing, in the 4 months that we've been around each other, we've already established a relationship to sort of help ourselves with safety. And just right there was a great example of it, is that if you notice, we're very calm. None of us, either of us didn't react very loud or energetically. And when Dashley did what she's supposed to do, being a prey animal, look, check her surroundings, Jolene and I just, throughout our communication and a little bit of time we've had together, just took both of our safety precautions and maintained, allowed both of us to remain safe. So that's just one perfect example in perfect time about how partners, the two of us with one horse in one incident, just allowed both of us, all three of us, because this is our partner, Dashley, to be safe within our surroundings. In that one instance when Dashley stepped over again, one of the points that we were talking about how a partner keeps each other safe is Jolene is very close to Dashley, right? So she's in the personal space, which could be more dangerous than me away here. Jolene can only, visually see the shoulder forward. I can see the whole picture of the horse with my point of view, my perspective. So as Dashley turned towards us, Jolene stayed in that point of contact up close. I was able to step into the point where Jolene can't be right now and get into this point to keep all three of us safe. I'm already in a more safe position being out here. Jolene's in that personal space of the horse. They're in each other's personal space. I'm not really in the personal space until Dashley sort of stepped our way. And that allowed our partnership, through our nonverbal communication, to each just help each other. And there's three of us in this conversation. There's just not two of us. Dashley being a very big part of this conversation. So within this bubble that we have here, our ability to communicate and my different of perspective allowed us to all maintain our safety.
And so part of the reason, like in the beginning, how I was saying that Dashley will be moving around a lot as she is still developing the basics for partnership with humans. That's why I'm keeping a hand on her, because I'm learning who she is. I'm always going to be learning who she is. There's never a day where this is who Dashley is. I can always give someone an introduction to Dashley's personality, but so I'm keeping a hand on her so that without looking at her, I can move with her. And like, as you see, I step back when she steps back. So through her body language that I've been able to learn with all the horses, when she steps back, I'm blocking her from swinging her butt out towards Gary. Obviously, if she does it quickly, then I'm not just going to fight her because that's a strong area for her. So she steps back, I try and block. So at me being closer, I'm also keeping, so say Gary is a new client, nervous to brush Dashley. We're going to approach by the shoulder. And so as Gary if he were the experienced person, he's watching from the hole, Now, as I'm the experienced person, I'm making sure that Dashley is not going to push into Gary's space. I am touching her. I'm going to make sure that if she moves, I can guide Gary away, or I can help keep her feet to herself. And so from both areas, we're making sure that the other person and the horse are in a safe position.
The next part that we're going to discuss is how we can become the partner with our other person within our horsemanship and the ways that we can do this. And again, when you notice Dashley step this way, Jolene and I's communication about what was happening was a lot of nonverbal. We've been around horses for a long time. We sort of, we do know which position to get into to help each other out. But our communication was very calm, all right? There wasn't a lot of, Jolene, get out of the way, Dashley's moving. That does not help anything, because then the horse may feel like something a lot around it is getting very excited. You want to be very calm and relaxed as much as possible in your horsemanship, and let alone when you're on the ground with the horse. Our communication was effective. Jolene did what Jolene did. I did what I did, and it was effective. There wasn't a lot of miscommunication in our steps. We both didn't go jump towards her. We both didn't go jump towards the back. We just figured out what needed to be done in the moment. And again, because we've had a lot of time with horses, we've already we've already done the things wrong. We've all done them wrong. We've already done them wrong. So now we know it works, right? And that's why we are here as the instructors, and you're going to be here as the student. We will be helping you learn as much as before us. It was my father, her mother. There was adults in our time when we were younger that helped us learn where we should be at the moments we should be there. Effective communication is different in between whoever that it is. Right now, there's a truck coming down the road. So Dashley, again, wants to turn and look, being a prey animal, to check and make sure that her surroundings are okay. This is all perfectly acceptable for a horse. You have got to understand where they're coming from as a species to understand what their reactions are going to be. They're never, and nor should they ever, stand there just like a statue. As Dashley gets more comfortable with Jolene and myself, gets more comfortable with her job, all these things will become more comfortable for her, and there won't be as much movement. But this is what happens when you're just getting a newer horse into newer situations and surroundings. These are the things that happen. She came back to this head down, ears low, soft eyes, into this soft, comfortable zone right here. So she comes back to this very quickly, but at the same time, Dashley is a leader horse, so she wants to communicate to us what she would like to happen. What she's telling Jolene right now is, keep itching my forehead. The big part of what we're trying to communicate to you is that when you're communicating with your partner in general in life with horsemanship, calm, assertive behavior is leadership. Calm, assertive behavior is the communication that you always need to have to become a good partner.